What's up, guys? This is Anthony from Hawkeye Rides. I'm here today at Land Rover St. Petersburg, Florida. Tanner has given us the 2021 Land Rover Defender S in the Pangea Green. MSRP on this is $53,800. The model I'm bringing you today, $63,610. Power Witcher 2.0 liter, inline 4 turbocharged, 296 horsepower, 295 pound-feet of torque, air suspension, adaptive dynamics, matted to a ZF 8-speed automatic transmission with your terrain response, 17 to 20 mpgs. We're going to go over all the specs and details, starting now. The Defender has been engineered to withstand extreme conditions mixed with the 1950s look in the modern Land Rover design. Ground clearance because of the air suspension is around 8.6 and it goes up to 11.5. Wading in the water at 35.4 inches, making this the best in class. This one has the black pack. It's a $600 upgrade, blackens out the front fascia, nice appearance, especially with the Defender badging that protrudes from the green exterior paint. I also like the step area here because it's really nice, especially when you're doing your off-roading adventures. You could climb up to here and easily load the roof racks, which holds 350 pounds. They do have a 90 model, which is a 2-door. This one is a 110 model, which is the 4-door. The width is 79.1 inches, a height of 77.1 inches, set with your LED headlights and daylight runnings. 18-inch wheels, they're white. I like the fact that they do the white on the wheels and on the roof. With the safari roof, it makes a nice pop and a distinctive silhouette that shows the characteristics of this Defender. Adaptive 4-wheel independent suspension, front and rear anti-roll bars, the length at 197.6 inches with the wheelbase at 119 inches. If you were to opt for the 90 model, it'll be about 27.4 inches smaller in length and about 17.1 inches smaller in the wheelbase because you won't be getting the 4 doors. Iconic, boxy, rigid look, the Defender is a hard SUV to compete with because of all the terrain that it can conquer. You can opt for a rear view mirror camera that would be stationed on the shark fin, which we have a review. We'll link it in the description. Towing at 7,716 pounds, you have your 3D camera with your park assist for the front and the rear. Going inside to your cargo at 34 cubic feet, maxing to 79 cubic feet. You can put the back seats down at a 40-20-40 fold. And I like whenever you close the tailgate, it has a soft suction close. You can raise and lower the suspension in the rear to make it easy to go to your cargo. Exterior side mounted carrier, which would go right here. The safari windows, as we've described before. The carrier, just all the capabilities that you could do taking this off-roading in your all-terrain. You can conquer any destination on the planet. Let me know what you think about the 2021 Land Rover Defender S in the comments as we go into the interior, go over the tech, and take this for our test run. Before we go over the interior, I'm going to raise the suspension so you can see how high the vehicle really goes. Now to show you how much taller the vehicle is, so that way you can see my head is pretty much aligned with the door. We're going to lower the suspension so you can see how low it can go. Now we've lowered it to the lowest setting. Getting out's a lot easier, and as you see, my head is over the door. Now let's go over the interior. Entering inside this Defender, you're going to be getting 40.6 inches of headroom, 39.1 inches of legroom. This has your durable rubber interior. You will not have your heated ventilated memory seats. Power adjustments, more or less just for the back, otherwise it's manual adjustments. Cabin air ionization, 3-zone climate control, and manual third row seats. That's part of the family pack. $2,100, but the cabin air ionization, what that does is it takes particles out of the air and it actually sticks it to the material of the vehicle, which is really good if you have any allergies, something that I would opt for. And you also get the 3-zone climate control with it in the third row package. 11 speakers, Meridian sound system, 400 watts, 10-inch Pivi Pro with your navigation. You have your pinch, you got your swipe, you have your smartphone integrated, wireless charger. Cup holders is really good too. In the center, we'll start off, you can fit a 16.9 ounce water bottle with no problems, probably up to a 20 ounce. You have storage in between here, USB ports, crazy. Starting on the passenger side where it says Defender, the grab handle, you have a USB right there. 2 more USB with the USB-C and a 12-volt charger. Opening up in here, you can use this as a refrigerator. This vehicle doesn't have that option, so you can fit about 4 16.9 ounce bottles in it. For the steering wheel, I like the leather wrap. It feels very solid, and you have your dual functioning buttons. When you click on the center, it'll change because you can do multiple options with these buttons. The same thing in the center. You can use your climate control to change the suspension. You can also do that for your heated and ventilated seats. We just don't have that feature. On the door panel, it's a funny little thing. There's an area here that will not allow you to open the hood when the doors close. I don't know what kind of safety feature it is because an adult should be driving the vehicle, but it is pretty interesting. On all 4 doors, you do have the sensor where if you're opening the door, if a pedestrian or a motorcycle or something like that is coming, it will alert you. That's a nice little safety feature. I like on the door panels how they're showing the screws. It just gives that rugged, off-roading feel, and that's what you're wanting when you get a Defender. Soft on the elbows, which is a really nice feature. Storage in the door panel, you could probably fit at least 6 to 10 different 16.9 ounce water bottles. You can fit 2 sitting this way. So if you're taking this for any terrain with the family, it's definitely a good vehicle to do so. Let's see how the second row looks. For the second row, you're getting 40.4 inches of headroom, 39 inches of legroom, which is quite a bit. You could definitely fit 3 adults with no problems in the second row. Third climate control, these are multi-function buttons again. USB ports, you got 4 in the center. You got 1 behind each of the front seats, which is a really nice thing if you're adding an iPad or anything like that for kids to watch, because you can just mount them right here. It already has the mounting, so it's very simple to do that as well. Door panels, an area for your armrest if you're fitting 2, very soft again. You got the screws protruding, which looks really nice and aggressive. The only downfall is you could really only fit about a 16 to 20 ounce bottle in the door panels. Otherwise, you'd have to use these and you can fit about 2. Let's see how I look in the center. Sitting into the center doesn't change anything. You actually sit the same level as you would sit on the sides, and it's a comfortable seat. Usually with an SUV in the center, it sits you up, but this actually sits pretty comfortable. You can also manually move the second row to make it have more leg space for the third row, and as you're seeing, you can go pretty far up. You can also recline these seats, however, the reclining doesn't go as far back. Let's check out the third row. Going into the third row is not necessarily difficult. You just pull the lever, slide the seat up, and then grab the handle and jump right into it. Slide the seat back. I would adjust it so you have some leg room. Kind of a little bit of an inconvenience for the second row. However, for the headroom in the third row is excellent. 40.7 inches legroom at 22.5. If you move the seats up in these positions that I have, you can easily fit 7 in the vehicle. The Safari windows in the headliner does make it very good for the non-claustrophobic look. You got your air vents, you got more charging ports, you have a cup holder on both sides. You can opt for a 4th climate control, and the panoramic moonroof in the model that we have has a folding cloth headliner, which is really cool. Taking the 2021 Land Rover Defender out, this is your 2.0 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. I like the fact that they give you the options of a smaller engine, and I picked this specific vehicle so we can see the power difference in it because we've already used this 6-cylinder engine. So we're going to see how it is, quietness in the cabin, the ride. We'll also adjust the suspension as we go through. Visibility in the car is always really good on the Defender because you do sit up pretty high, whether you're at the lowest setting of your air suspension or not. You're going to see pretty much everything without any issues. I do like that. The quietness in the cabin, you know, it's so luxurious, you forget that this is an off-roading machine. And that is something that's really nice in the perspective of you have the capacity of taking this to crazy terrain, and you can drive it on a daily basis and it's not going to annoy you because of road noise or anything of that nature. You got the blind spot monitoring, you got the rear cross traffic alert, you got the front sensors as well for the pedestrian. You have the auto start stop in this. You also have the auto hold, which does a good job in saving you gas. Gas consumption though isn't necessarily too bad. It's an SUV, so you're going to expect to get, you know, 17 to 20 mpgs. That's a really kind of normal number. I also do like the fact that the rear view mirror, I can see everything from the back even though it has a fifth wheel. I was a little concerned because I've done 2 different tests with the Defender, both of which had the rear view camera mirror, which made it a little bit easier. However, you can opt without that feature because I can see just as well without it. So I'm gonna give her a little go. There's no paddle shifters, flooring it so you can hear. You know, it's very subtle. I do like the fact that it's not overpowering in the noise for the engine. Going over anything, very easy, you just glide. I do like that. We're gonna raise the suspension and see how it sounds. So we are at the highest setting now, and we're going to floor it just like that and see how it is. And you're gonna hit around a 5, you can hit about a 6 RPM. It does get a little bit throatier as you hit that 5 RPM. Because we are higher up, I'm starting to hear a little bit more wind noise, but it really didn't change any of the perspective. It's almost like library quiet. The ride comfort with the raised suspension, I think it is a little bit of a difference of a ride. It does feel a lot smoother. You will feel a little bit more boaty though whenever you're turning, as you're seeing on the camera, because you are higher up. We have lowered the suspension all the way. We're in the middle of the road, just gonna do a U-turn so you can see the turn radius. This vehicle typically gets about 3 lanes, which you're seeing, so that's nothing different. Giving it full throttle in the lowest suspension again. It takes a little bit of time to get up there, but I mean, it's an SUV and you get there quiet. Now, the ride comfort, has it changed? It is, I would say, 10 to 15% quieter with the suspension to the lowest level. As for visibility, it didn't really change anything there because you're almost at 9 inches ground clearance anyway, so going to 11 to 12 inches is not a huge difference in that. And as for the comfort, it still feels like you're gliding. Boaty feel, it feels about the same, really. It's not going to be super dynamic in the sense of you're going to be taking cornering, and this is not a perfect 50-50 weight distribution. You would not expect that anyways in an SUV, and if you got it, it would be something that would be more of a performance driven vehicle that would go 0 to 60s in like 3 or 4 seconds. The nice part about it is the way it's set with the ZF 8-speed transmission is you do ride at around 1500 to 2 RPM, so you're already more or less above the turbo lag area, so you don't necessarily feel hesitation. And because of the length of the vehicle, it doesn't feel long when you're driving. It doesn't feel overly wide. It does kick you back a little bit because nearly 300 pounds of torque as well and almost 300 horsepower. So all around capabilities, this engine is pretty potent, something that, you know, gives you an option too if you don't want to opt for the 6-cylinder. Another nice aspect to the Defender is you can raise or lower the suspension while you're driving. I do like that because if you want to do it on a pinch, you need to get a little bit more ground clearance, or you're going into a parking garage, you can do so. Giving it some throttle, and this is at the highest ground clearance. Same thing, like I said, you don't really feel any turbo lag, and it's a smooth transition. That's the best part about this one. I would say the 6-cylinder engine has a little bit more torque derived to it, so it's going to push you back. It's a lot more power, but you get the same amenities, the same towing capacity. So if you're looking to get this vehicle at a more inexpensive price and get a little bit better fuel economy, a little bit less maintenance because it's a smaller engine, this is definitely something to look as an option. As for taking any turns, anything of that, again, it's not going to be full dynamic. So even if you're going 20, 25 miles an hour, it's going to look like you're going 30, 40, or 50 miles an hour. We're going to take this back to Land Rover in St. Petersburg, go over the 360-degree reverse camera, and wrap this review up. Going into your 3D camera, which is, I think, one of the best features of any of the new vehicles that have it. And you can see every single thing all around it. You could either slide it or tap the icons, and that will show you all around the vehicle. You still have your 360-degree camera here and all the sensor functionality. So if you click onto these areas, you will see it changes the points of interest of the vehicle. This will make it more of an outside. This will make it more of an inside. Also helping for that off-roading. Whenever you're doing any of your off-roading terrain, you can see it right in front of you going into your off-roading, and it will literally make it. This is the front tires, and this is the front of the vehicle. You can also adjust these seats manually, which makes it even easier. I can't move it. There it is. Finally figured out. I'd like to thank Tanner here at Land Rover St. Petersburg, Florida, for giving us this 2021 Land Rover Defender S for our car review. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for being a part of the Hawkeye community. If not, click that subscribe button. Check out the details, the merchandise, and everything we do here at Hawkeye Ride.